Hi, welcome back to Weaving with Ambrosia. We're going to continue our spin to weave series. This time, though, I decided to check the staple length first. This is our Seacell. So this is made from seaweed, which is quite cool. I've really been wanting to try this one just because I live near the water and it just, feels like something I should do. So I'm going to check the staple length, and I decided if it's a short staple length, I'm going to try with my drop spindle because maybe I have more control there. But if it's a longer staple length, I'll use my spinning wheel because apparently I pedal like a crazy person. So let's go ahead and give this a look. And let's give this a nice little tug. Oh. This looks beautiful. Kind of a mid-length. Definitely a lot longer than all the other ones I've been trying. Well, aside from the flax, but this is soft. So I'm going to try my wheel on this one. And I already like the way it feels. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the seaweed. I want it to be super amazing. And then I would make something out of it. So that's my goal, is that it's super amazing. And then I can make something and say, hey, look, this is my seaweed scarf. And that will make me cooler than I already am. Because I'm like right here in awesomeness. And that will put me like right here. Which I'm doing this for scale. But it'll raise my awesomeness level. Go great with my outfit. So let's get this going, and hopefully it's amazing. This fiber on my little cloth to catch those loose bits. I've separated it, so I have about 27 grams in each batch. So I'm going to set very, very loose tension. Basically none. Oops. See? That much none. Just enough to have that lid not fall off. All right. And the reason I separated it is because I do hope to ply it, because I do like plied yarn. And let's go ahead and grab this little chunk here. Well, almost wonder if I should do a slight pull on all of it before we get started, or at least little parts of it. Yeah, so let me just pre-draft a little bit on the yarn, or on the fiber, I should say, because it's not yarn yet, because we're going to make it to the yarn. A little bit of pre-draft. Separate the fibers. It's already so shiny and pretty. I really want to like this. I already feel like I really do like it. Only thing is, like, these packs do not come with fiber care instructions. So I'll either have to look it up when I get to the finishing part, or just do what feels right, and hopefully it works out just fine. So yeah, I feel like a little pre-drafting for this one's going to make a huge difference just by feeling it. And it's pre-drafting quite nicely. Or sorry. So for a lot of plant fibers, you can throw in the dryer. Some you can't. So I feel like I'll be able to throw it in the dryer. But just to be safe, I think I'll probably just let this one dry on the counter. Unless I actually look it up and find that, no, this is something you can easily throw in the dryer without causing any issues. I'm going to go with the widest bandwidth to help me slow down my pedaling. Because as we all know, I pedal like a maniac. It's going to take a little while to get it consistent, because it always does when you're working with a new fiber. And getting a staple length that you're happy with, and getting a width on the thread that you like. especially considering when you're going to ply it, how much you want in it when you ply. Dog's getting in the shot. So I'm just going to keep going. Again, try not to pedal too fast. I see myself trying to over twist again. Woo! That's the thing when working with newer fibers. And this one's really silky. Like it wants to slide and slide, slide. So I feel like it's easy to draft further than you need to for the amount of twist you have. But it's very pretty already. Just very silky looking, very silky feeling. Like, it's very smooth on my fingers. Some of the other fibers, when I did them, I was like, oh no, I've literally got paper cuts from doing this on my hands. But this one, no, it just feels so soft. So I am borderline ready to be in love with seaweed fiber. I know it's a little early, but I'm falling in love. Things can go wrong, but I hope they don't, because I really want to love it. I want to love it so much. All right, we have our 2 bobbins, and we'll go ahead and ply these tomorrow. I'm going to let them rest today, and hopefully it'll be beautiful. I think it'll probably be about a sport weight. When I look at it, that's what I think after I apply it, it will be, but we'll know for sure once it's done. All right, so I actually have the Seacell that I've spun, which is a mixture of seaweed and sea pulp. It is currently drying out, so it's been spun and plied. We're just letting it dry out and set. Spinning it so far has absolutely been delightful. So soft, so plush, so easy to spin. I've had 0 issues, a couple minor breaks, but that was 100% my fault, not the fiber. I've loved spinning it. I've loved everything about it so far until I got it wet. It smells like washed up seaweed. So hopefully it doesn't smell like that again. But right now, that's the only downside. When it's wet, it smells like washed up seaweed. Let's keep going. All right, so I have our Plied yarn. This is our Seacell. I got about 102 yards from the entire batch of about 2.5 ounces. It still has kind of a seaweed smell, so that's a little gross. But it is ready to go. It's a sport weight. I'm going to put it at 8 inch per inch. I could do up to 10, but just due to the limited amount I have, in order to make a real sample, I decided to go with 8. It will be about a 40-inch warp, so hopefully I will be able to weave close to 38 inches of that, and that should give us a decent size sample to really look at and hopefully just enjoy. So let's check back in a little bit later. So thankfully, once this dried, it lost a lot of the seaweed smell. Oops, wasn't right. So hopefully it continues to not have it. It's a sport weight, so I have it in 8 dent heddle right now. It was kind of between an 8 and a 10, so I just decided to go with an 8 because I wanted it to be a little bit more weft heavy. I have about a 30-inch warp. So my plans are to continue this till about halfway through the warp, do a hem stitch, and then continue. And the reason for that is because I actually think it will be nice to have the ability to compare with different finishing types
since I've seen most Seacell is recommended that you flat dry, but some people use it as athletic wear and they throw it in the dryer. So I'll kind of compare what it looks like when it's wet finished and then flat dried versus wet finished and dried in the dryer. But so far, it is still very silky. I like the way it feels. I can see why they use it for a workout material. It definitely has very nice feel. It's very lightweight feeling. Even with how densely I'm packing it right now or beating it down, it still feels very light. It feels very crisp. We'll just keep this going for a little while. So I actually think it's quite interesting. When I first pulled it out, it definitely had a slight green tint to it. And now it looks more golden. So I'm not sure if that's a normal course of color change or not. But it definitely looks more golden than green now. Originally, it looked like a very, very pale green. Okay, so we have the completely finished versions of our samples. This is the one that went into the dryer. It shrank about a ½ inch in the length. After I pulled it off the warp, the width is what shrunk the most. I lost about an inch, but I expected that, so it wasn't really a big deal. I packed it pretty tight. It's a little bit more weft heavy than warp. And you can kind of see it's still very shiny, very silky, very flexible. It's soft and pliable. I was worried it would shrink a lot more in the dryer because I did dry finish it, one flat finish and the other in the dryer. This one's still a little bit stiffer. I'm sure it'll be a little bit softer over time. But that being said, I think in the future, if I ever did anything with Seacell, I'd just throw it in the dryer because it didn't really shrink any more than cotton would. So I would plan accordingly and add just a little bit more to it, just like I would with cotton. So all in all, that was pretty nice. When I was reading up on Seacell, there was some mixed reviews about its benefits. There was some website saying that it, when you wear it, it will leach different types of minerals and vitamins into your skin, which is really interesting. Not sure if it's true, so I take it with a grain of salt. After that, it was a delight working with. It was very soft the entire time I was spinning it. It was fluffy. It's still very fluffy and soft. It has a nice sheen to it. It's got a nice little crisp golden color, which I really like. It feels very light on the skin. Everything about it has been a delight, except it still smells a little bit like seaweed. So after I finished the string, it smelled very strong like seaweed. It was like I just walked up on the beach after all the seaweed had come in and been sitting in the sun all day. I was worried it would smell that bad the entire time. Once it dried, the smell kind of went away. But when I finished it again, after I had woven it, there was still a smell. It wasn't anywhere near as strong. It was a lot fainter, but it still has a slight smell. I feel pretty confident that since it's so much less, it would probably go away after another wash or two, and it would be gone. Can't confirm that 100%, but that's kind of my impression, just due to how much it faded just from the first wash to the second. So all in all, I would definitely try spinning this again and consider it for a project. Maybe even more so if it was a lightweight project, or even if I was wanting to knit or crochet something, because it does have some UV protection. That was something basically everybody agreed on, but a lot of natural fibers actually do give you some level of UV protection. It's pretty good for anything that's water-based, or if you're in a hotter climate, because it is a little bit cooler. A lot of companies have started to use it to make athletic gear. So this might actually be a super fiber in the future. More comparable with bamboo. I liked it. I liked working with it. And if I was wanting to make something special for an outdoorsy person, or maybe somebody I know who really likes fishing and they want also something that's handmade, maybe I'd make them some seaweed fiber options. So definitely great if you're in a warmer climate. You can't really wear as many wools. I know they have summer wools, but let's face it, when in 100-degree weather, you don't really want a summer wool. You want something light like cotton, bamboo, and I think honestly Seacell might be making that list in the near future. It was very delightful to work with. I think I'll work with it again. But that is my review of this product. Also, next week, we are going to start our pattern. Dennis gave their vote, and that's who we're going with. We're going with your vote. So we'll be making that pattern next week. So keep your eye out for that. It will be in a wool and baby alpaca. So stay tuned and see you in the next one.